The Metropolitan Police, however, is urging convicted sex offender Hadush Kebatu to turn himself in after he was mistakenly released from prison. I mean, it doesn't get much worse than this, does it? No. The 41-year-old Ethiopian asylum seeker was serving a 12-month sentence until it was brutally interrupted at HMP Chelmsford for sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl. Well, Met Police Commander James Conway updated the public earlier.
I'm also making a direct appeal to Mr. Kebatu himself. We want to locate you in a safe and controlled way. You had already indicated a desire to return to Ethiopia when speaking to immigration staff. The best outcome for you is to make contact directly with us by either calling 999 or reporting yourself to a police station. We would ask any member of the public who sees Mr. Kebatu to call 999 immediately.
Well, to discuss this, I'm pleased to welcome campaigner and councillor Sarah White. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Of course, this all started, didn't it? Everything we talk about with the migrant hotel campaigns up and down the country, with this case in Epping. Sarah, what is the feeling like in Epping at the moment and Essex in general?
Everyone's feeling incredibly let down and just completely confused on how could this have happened? How could it have been this man, of all the men to be accidentally released? It just so happens to be the most high-profile criminal in this country at the moment. And it's outrageous. And how are the family feeling of the young girl that got sexually assaulted? Once again, they have been fouled by the authorities, and it's just rubbing salt in the wound.
Yeah, Sarah, because of course we have been glued to seeing the protests, particularly outside the Bell Hotel in Epping. I've spoken to many of you, yourself included, Sarah, over the course of the last year about this very, very serious crime committed against young people. Do you what kind of message do you think this sends? I mean, the government are saying this is an administrative error. David Lammy said he's furious. But a lot of people are worried that similar cases might be replicated. The government, of course, are planning to potentially release sex offenders onto the streets as part of their prison overcrowding issue. Do you think foreign criminals should just be deported?
100%. I think they should all be detained, processed and deported. They've broken into the country, so they've committed a crime. If you want to come here legally, follow the correct process and you'll be welcomed with open arms. Let's not forget, they've come from France. They're not fleeing war. So yes, I would like to see them all detained and deported. And at the end of the day, it's all well and good for David Lammy to blame the previous government. However, it's under his government, or under the Labour government, that this criminal only received a 12-month sentence. And we know that he was only going to serve 4 months of that sentence, which is outrageous. And what message that sends is, if you sexually assault a young girl, you'll receive such a little punishment. That what message does that send when you know that I was arrested for unfurling the British flag and my crime would have been punishable with 12 months, the exact same as what he was given?
Indeed, Sarah. And of course, the other part of this story is that we've heard from an eyewitness who said actually Kebatu not only waited outside the prison, he went back and waited there for 90 minutes before the prison guards told him to get on a train somewhere. I mean, it's completely bonkers, isn't it?
It's almost like they wanted this to happen. Do they want to create civil unrest? Because it's too much of a coincidence that it was that guy. You know, how is it nobody else in the prison that was released? It just so happened to be him. And like you say, he waited around for a long time and nobody thought, oh, hold on, he's not supposed to be released. He's supposed to be being deported. What did they think? He was going to make his own way to be deported? Take himself to Stansted? I don't think so.
Indeed. Kai, I'll pass it over to my panellist. Kai.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. I just want to get this really clear. You were campaigning to get the Epping Hotel shut down, as were many people across the country, and send them to as yet decided locations. But then we know that the prison system is in chaos. The effect of your policies and things that you would want to see enacted would be complete system chaos, wouldn't it? And a collapse of state capacity.
Well, I don't think so, because I think if they was able to build the Nightingale centres rapidly, we can build centres to house these people and basically protect our shores and stop sending boats out to the 12-mile mark to pick these undocumented illegal men up. We wouldn't have a problem if we didn't spend so much money on having 500 officers at Epping, night in, night out at some points. You know, we would save an awful lot of money there, and that could be used wisely.
Too right, Sarah. It doesn't take too long to pitch up a tent in an army barracks. I want to consider more broadly, though, because this story, to be honest, is so bonkers. I still can't quite get my head around it. The campaigning that you have done and that so many brave women have done has been nothing short of extraordinary. Has there been any reach out from government officials or the police? Do you feel like you're being listened to?
Not at all. No, not at all. I think it's all well and good for certain members of Parliament to jump on the bandwagon like it's something to be fashionable. At one point, go, oh, the pink ladies. But what are they actually doing about it? We could sort this country out pretty rapidly if they really wanted to. I think ultimately our government want to divide and conquer. And that is the fundamental flaw. And they're too bothered about lining their own pockets rather than actually dealing with what's actually going on at ground level.
So, Sarah, I'm struggling a little bit here. So I think you said that they wanted this to happen. I'm just curious as to what you said.
Yeah, I believe that. How is it this prisoner that's been released? How is it this prisoner only received 12 months? When, you know, you look at other crimes that are committed and they receive a much larger sentence when they're not as serious. So I believe that the government needs to look at their policies and, you know, sentencing that they hand out, because ultimately it infuriates people, because ultimately what they're doing is putting the wants and needs of undocumented illegal migrants over the wants and needs of our very own people. If you're happy for young girls and women to be sexually assaulted in the community, that has got to stop. And where is the ECHR when it comes down to women and children? If you're going to use the ECHR, it has to be fair for every single person in this country.
Sarah, I want to just ask you very quickly, I mean, this is a disgrace that this has happened, but do you think David Lammy should resign over this?
I think he should have resigned a long time ago over multiple points. So yes, 100% he should. And let's face it as well, this isn't an isolated incident. There was 262 people released by mistake from prison last year. That's one for every day of the year, because we don't release on a Saturday and a Sunday. So it's outrageous, and people need to be held accountable. And I'm sick and tired of, especially in the government and local councils, they can all well and good do something wrong and they're just allowed to leave without any punishment.
Kai? Challenge?
Well, I'm struggling a little bit to hear, but I really do think, I mean, we're getting some comments in from your saying that the system, you know, is in chaos already. But, you know, on the David Lammy point in particular, we've just had a reshuffle. Don't you think the British public are tired of seeing new faces and new jobs? And actually, the problem is that they're not getting to grips with the issue, and that's what David Lammy should do with a renewed focus.
I think we're getting fed up with the people that are selected for us to elect from. Ultimately, everyone who is in Parliament is incapable of doing their jobs, because none of them are sincere to this country. So it's all well and good of having a Labour government. Everyone who they're going to pick is not going to put anyone in this country first.
OK, well, listen, thank you so much for joining us and giving us your thoughts there, and for feeding, of course, across Epping and Essex. Sarah White, thank you so much for joining us.